Racism, besides being cruel and unacceptable, is a crime, but some insist on crossing that line, thinking they will go unpunished. However, reality has shown otherwise. More and more, the justice system, social networks, and society have been reacting, and these criminals are paying dearly for their actions. This is exactly what we will see here today. A primary school teacher at a school in Austin, Texas, United States, was placed on administrative leave after a viral video showed that he said he believed that his race, the white race, was the superior race. In his statement, he says, "Deep in my heart, I am ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one." Immediately afterwards, a student asks, "Are you racist?" And he answers, "I am. I'm being honest with you." I think everybody thinks that they're just not honest about it. Very likely, he did not imagine he was being filmed, but he was. And the recording ended up on the internet, going viral and obviously generating a lot of criticism.
And you're
I
racist?
think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you are racist.
I do.
As mentioned earlier, he was immediately placed on leave after the video circulated and later fired. The dismissal and the process were confirmed by the city's educational coordinator, who stated that the incident was inappropriate, inaccurate, and unacceptable and did not reflect the district's values. 3 supporters of the Argentine club Boca Juniors were arrested in flagrante during the goalless draw against Corinthians in the round of 16 of the CONMEBOL Libertadores. In June of 2022, 2 of them were filmed imitating monkeys in the direction of the Corinthians fans, constituting a racial insult. The 3rd supporter performed a Nazi salute, initially charged with glorifying a crime but subsequently with racism. Corinthians issued an official statement expressing its vehement repudiation of the racist acts and stated that it would continue to file complaints until it was no longer necessary. After all, cases of racism in football by some supporters have unfortunately become recurrent. It was also mentioned that similar incidents had already occurred earlier, both in the group stage of that tournament and in matches in Brazil and Argentina, which led the South American Football Confederation, CONMEBOL, to fine Boca Juniors, one fine of $30,000 and another of $100,000. In January of 2022, James Iannazzo, aged 48, entered a branch of the Robex chain in Connecticut, United States, in an extremely aggressive manner after his son suffered an allergic reaction to a drink that contained peanuts. He returned to the store, using offensive and racist language against the employees, even throwing the drink at one of them, uttering xenophobic insults and repeating threats. The situation led to the police being called, and the man was charged with racially motivated intimidation, disturbing the peace, and trespassing, since he had attempted to enter an area restricted to staff. A video of the incident was posted on TikTok and went viral, racking up millions of views.
Immigrant loser.
What? Yo, you're going to jail! You're going to jail, you racist!
According to reports, he posted bail and was released. However, due to the repercussion of the case, he, who had worked as a financial advisor at a company since 1995, was dismissed. The company released a statement saying that it does not tolerate this type of behavior and thus terminated his contract. A woman was seen inside a McDonald's causing a huge commotion and showing extreme racism toward the staff. In the video filmed by another customer, she appears arguing, insulting, and threatening the employees because of an alleged delay in her order. Aggressively, she attacks the workers, and another customer who is also waiting becomes irritated and reproaches her on the spot. He insults her and questions why she was doing that, since there was no need, and moreover, it constituted a crime. Realizing that things could go badly for her, she decided to leave as quickly as possible. The recorded scene went online and drew a lot of criticism of the woman's attitude, who committed a crime, was racist, and offended the professionals who were simply doing their job. Many people also praised the customer who reproached her and made her leave. In July of 2020, in Valinhos, Sao Paulo, Brazil, a delivery driver for a ride-hailing app was the target of racist insults and verbal abuse by a white resident of a luxury condominium. The insults included calling him semi-illiterate from the slums and claiming that he was envious of both the condominium and the color of his skin, which, in this case, was white. The aggressor also spat on the delivery driver and made monkey sounds. A neighbor recorded the moment and shared the video on social media. Soon after, the driver showed the footage to his mother, driver, who made the case public. The content quickly spread, with massive support from netizens. The driver filed a police report, and the case was forwarded to the Valinhos police station, being registered as a racial insult. The iFood platform, used by the courier, expelled the aggressor from the platform and offered legal and psychological support to the driver.
Tem inveja das suas famílias aqui. Eu também posso ter a mesma coisa que o senhor. Eu posso ter a mesma coisa que o senhor. Eu posso ter a mesma coisa que o senhor.
The aggressor's father claimed that his son has psychiatric problems, including a diagnosis of schizophrenia. However, such justification did nothing to lessen the outrage over the incident. In July of 2024, a 52-year-old woman named Rita Aparecida Longini was called by employees of an OXXO supermarket in Sao Paulo, Brazil, after she insulted and offended colleagues with racial slurs, broke merchandise, and attempted to assault them. When the military police arrived, she began insulting the officers, resisted the approach, and even slapped a military police officer in the face. The suspect was arrested in flagrante delicto, being indicted for racial insult, contempt of authority, and resisting arrest. At her custody hearing, the court ordered her preventive detention, considering the gravity of her conduct and the likelihood of repetition, despite her defense alleging psychiatric problems. The attendants even transferred from that branch for fear that she might return, since she lived near the store. The OXXO chain stated that it provided support to the employees and immediately alerted the authorities. A widely circulated video from the program Court Cam on the Andy network shows a lawyer leaving the courtroom after hearing racist comments from a judge during a hearing. The hearing dealt with a divorce case, and the lawyer, visibly upset and indignant, decided to exit the courtroom after the judge's racist remarks against her client. Her action demonstrated strong repudiation of racism and a commitment to ethics and justice. This incident, as portrayed on the program, is a powerful example of the fight against racism and discrimination, even within institutions that should be pillars of justice. According to some reports, the judge claimed he had been misunderstood.
Everybody gets it. Social Security sends it to your home every year.
Then comes the awkward silence.
The lawyer's refusal to tolerate such comments and her decision to leave the hearing was an act of courage and integrity, greatly praised by viewers and internet users who watched the episode. A man was seen inside a convenience store enraged, swearing and committing racism against a black clerk working there. Noticing the situation, another customer who was slightly further back began to question the man's behavior, who became irritated by the questioning and started to insult the customer as well. However, unwilling to accept it, the customer simply attacked and, taking advantage of the fact that he was holding a can in his hand, used it to strike the racist in the face, who still tried to defend himself but ended up getting the worst of it. The scene was recorded by another customer who was further back, and in it, we can see the racist receiving a well-deserved lesson from the customer who forcibly ejected him from the premises. The police were then called. Players from the French club Paris Saint-Germain and from Istanbul Başakşehir, Turkey, abandoned the pitch at the start of their UEFA Champions League group stage match. They accused the fourth official, Sebastian Coltescu, from Romania, of having made a racist remark toward a member of the Turkish team's coaching staff. The Union of European Football Associations, UEFA, initially decided to suspend the match but then ordered it to resume. However, the Turkish team's players refused to return to the field. The governing body then officially abandoned the match. The fourth official had allegedly referred to Pierre Weibo, assistant coach of Istanbul Başakşehir, as that black one, after a dispute in which Weibo was sent off. The match remained halted for about 20 minutes before the teams left the field. The head referee, also Romanian, Ovidiu Hatagan, attempted to persuade the players to restart the game, but they refused. Members of the Istanbul squad demanded respect, and even Neymar stated that, with the racist official at the sideline, the match could not continue. The match took place in 2020, and in 2021, UEFA announced the suspension of referee Sebastian Constantin Coltescu, accused of racism in that game. After an investigation, the European football governing body concluded that the Romanian violated Articles 6 and 11 of the disciplinary regulations, the first characterizing improper conduct, and he was therefore sanctioned. In April of 2021, in the municipality of Uberaba of Minas Gerais, Brazil, a 66-year-old woman named Mara Neves Adriano was detained by the military police after making racial slurs at a pharmacy employee. The woman criticized the young clerk's hair, calling it ridiculous, and stating that he occupied space in the world, even suggesting that he return to the ghetto. Still inside the car, she continued shouting racist insults for anyone who would listen. The military police were called after the offenses, and even inside the police vehicle, the elderly woman maintained her aggressive posture and continued uttering racial slurs. A police report was filed for racial insult. She was taken to the station but released on the condition that she appear in court. The clerk, identified as Luis Enrique Medeiros de Oliveira, age 27, lamented that incidents like this still occur.
Ficou alterada, começou a gritar e começou a me humilhar. Falou que de fora do meu cabelo, que meu cabelo ocupa todo o espaço da loja.
Eu vou te falar a verdade. Esse cabelo seu, ele
falou...
ocupa espaço no mundo, não é porque ele é crespo, não. A gente na vida não pode atrapalhar os outros.
The Drogasil pharmacy chain where the events took place issued a statement denouncing the situation and reinforcing its commitment to combating discrimination and valuing diversity. In October of 2024, during a Halloween party in Canada, images emerged of 4 people wearing identifiable Ku Klux Klan attire. This terrorist organization formed by white supremacists originated in the United States after the American Civil War and aims to promote racial segregation and white supremacy, persecuting and attacking African Americans and civil rights advocates. The images went viral on social media and generated widespread public indignation and condemnation, especially from local Black communities and activists. In response, the fire chief admitted that a mistake was made, explaining that the individuals were not department members but were let in by volunteers at the event entrance. The deputy chief apologized on behalf of the department, acknowledging that there was a lapse in judgment and promising to act better in the future. Many protesters considered the apology insufficient, stating that apologies without concrete actions are useless. Activists also demanded anti-racism training to prevent similar incidents in the future. The Justice of the State of São Paulo sentenced Wilho da Silva Brito, aged 40, to 2 years and 8 months of imprisonment under a semi-open regime for the crimes of racial insult, racism, homophobia, and Nazi glorification committed at the Mario de Andrade Library in August of 2022. Wilho was recorded reading Adolf Hitler's book Mein Kampf in the library, prominently displaying the cover as a symbol while uttering racist and homophobic insults so severe that they do not even deserve reproduction. He was subdued without resistance by library staff and patrons in an operation coordinated by the Metropolitan Civil Guard and Civil Police, who arrested him in flagrante delicto.
Eu não gosto de negro, a cultura deles. Se prestar, vocês não é discriminado pela sociedade. Você vai lá na Praça da Sé e vê monte de negro vendendo celular roubado na praça pública.
In addition to the prison sentence, he was ordered to pay an indemnity to the library, as well as to implement protective measures, such as keeping witnesses away from him. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.